Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Philo, and today we'll be talking about the story of this year's Valentine's Day holiday event. We were supposed to start on Limsa this week, but given that the Valentine's Day event has begun, I thought it would be fair to add in this short video for this week, and so next week we'll start with Limsa. But with that, let's get started, shall we? Heading to the amphitheater in Gridania, we meet Lisette de Valenton, who tells us that her love burns brighter than the sun and deeper than the sea, and she is happy to share it with us. With a glance into our eyes, she could tell that we are a man whose passion runs deep and asks us if we are willing to help bring hearts together across Eorzea. We say yes, and she explains the current problem. She tells us that she wanted to give the task to her sister Astrid so she could rise to the challenge and prove herself. However, when telling her colleagues, they became offended and believed that she was playing favoritism for her sister and think they are far more suited for the task at hand. When looking at her colleagues and her sister, we see that they are engaged in discussion of who is best deserving of the role. She deems that outside intervention is needed and that the task she wants completed by our help. We agree to help, clearly making her happy, and says we would never let her down. She attempts to get their attention, to no avail, until she yells at them to stop squabbling and get their worthless butts over to her before she murders them. Shocked, they come over and she asks them what illustrious Countess Arabelle would think if she saw them bickering amongst themselves. She proposes that they prove who is best by easing the worries of a man lost in love. The one who proves themselves most suited will be rewarded by being named High Emissary of this year's festival. She tells them she will not be judging as to avoid bias, but that we will make the decision along with the citizens of Gridania and other adventurers. Astrid tells her sister she will show her worth. Bert is excited for the contest, while Rodrigo tells us that he will use his knowledge to surpass everyone else. Lisette comments that they have tons of devotion to their duty, and it's enough to make a young woman swoon. She tells us she was approached by a young man who spoke his troubles of finding love when he barely has a chance to be around the opposite sex. She tells us her heart goes out to the man for his dark days of solitude and seclusion, and she wants them three to go to his aid. The one small thing is that the man in question wishes to remain anonymous, and that we should respect his wishes. He is placing trust in us, after all. She tells us that she is counting on us to follow them and witness their efforts firsthand, and to choose who we believe is most devoted and capable of bringing love to this man's life. And with that, she sends us off to meet with the man. We go to the designated spot to meet up with the man. Astrid asks him what are his worries, and they are there to help him fill his lonely heart. The man hesitantly speaks, but Bert tells him not to be shy in the matter of the heart, and one must be bold, or you will live your days in shadow. Rodrigo tells him not to let his colleagues intimidate him, and to speak to him on what concerns him, and they will figure out a logical solution to his problems. The man thanks them for their service and accepts them with gratitude. Astrid suggests that we carry on the questioning to make it fair. We ask him what he's looking for in a partner, and he says he honestly has never given it a thought to the matter. Nothing comes to his mind as he cannot judge feelings toward them when they haven't met yet. We ask how does he spend his time? He tells us that in his spare time, it's something that he barely gets, but when he does, he uses it to hone his body and mind so that he can perform his duties better, because serving the people is what brings him the most joy. We finally ask him what he does for a living. He tells us he would like to keep his job details to himself, but does tell us that his job that he performs is a physically demanding position, so he spends each day training his body for the task. When he leaves, Bert tells everyone that he will not show mercy and wants to win, but Rodrigo tells them that he would feel guilty if he did not share news with both of them. He tells them that he is in the know of more information about the client, and the interest of equality wants to share it with them as well. Bert accuses him of sneaking around behind their backs to spy on the man, and he is a shifty type, but Rodrigo clarifies that he overheard the conversation between the man and Lisette when he came for counsel and heard some rumors spreading about him. He tells everyone that the man doesn't simply have the respect of the peers, but anyone who knows the client speaks highly of him with integrity and honor. If there is one glaring issue with him, it's that he can be a bit too serious for his own good. Both Astrid and Bert thank him for sharing this information and decide it is time to begin a contest. Astrid tells us that they need time to think on things and to come back in a bit. While waiting for them, we undertake a Moogle challenge. In this challenge, you are attached to your partner throughout the course and must try to not let the chain between you break. First, we must navigate through a maze, careful to not let the wandering Moogles hit us, or else we will take damage and be stunned. We also can't wander too far away from our partner or the chain will break. After navigating through both mazes, we have to play a matching game with cards. Afterwards, we are judged by the Moogle, and you can get one of 3 options. Kindred spirits if the chains did not break at all throughout navigating the maze. Favorable if the chain broke but the meter went down from 99 to 60%. And finally unfavorable if the meter drops from 59% to 1%. Returning to the 3 colleagues, we see that they have made their decision on the matter. Talking to Astrid, we learn that she feels he needs to expand his horizons, for it is clear from the conversation that we had with him how his peers feel about him. Not having a real interest outside of his job leaves him limited, and that's why Astrid wants him to search for his love amongst his clients. Upon talking with Bert, he tells us that he feels the people view the client as a one-trick pony with how diligent he is with his job. Thus, he needs to find himself a new pastime which could leave him to meet new faces and give him a fresh topic to branch with people. Bert suggests maybe woodworking would be good, as many women appreciate a man who can be handy around the house. When talking to Rodrigo, he tells us to recall the client's response when we asked what kind of person is his type. He had no answer, and thus Rodrigo feels that a man who cannot answer has lost sight of himself. Rodrigo proposes that the client spend time off duty communing with nature so he can cast off his worldly worries and regain a sense of self. We head back to Lisette and tell her we've made our decision on who we've chosen, and she tells us to get the chosen person and bring them to her. Each person brings its own unique dialogue. If you choose Astrid, Lisette is excited and happy you have chosen her beloved sister. She congratulates her sister and tells her that our vote will go far, but to remember it's too early to declare a winner, as there are others who will have to weigh in on the contest as well. If you choose Bert, Lisette remarks that anyone with half a wit can see that, but does not finish the sentence, and merely says that we have deemed Bert, the beloved, most deserving of our support. She tells us she thinks his ideas are worth as much as a stalk of stale potatoes, but it's not her job to dissuade us, and that there's a first time for everything. Once again, she reminds us that the contest isn't over yet. If you choose Rodrigo, Lisette will remark that we should have chosen anyone but him, and anyone else might have been disheartened to see us stroll in with the self-important scholar instead of her sister, but she of course remains impartial on the matter. Yeah, okay, sure you do. She tells us one point goes to Rodrigo and that his dispassionate delusions were most convincing, and only hope they satisfy the clients as well, before once again reminding us that the voting of the contest is not over yet. And that's the story of this year's Valentine's Day event. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and next week we will start on the Limsa story as I promised. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.